Then I
I
can't.
have Mondays and Wednesdays saved to my computer, so I'll upload those to the channel just unpublished. So,
Perfect.
um, yeah. So, what
Per-
was your favorite thing? Like, if you could only name one thing.
my mastermind with Brandon Brenningham, the expand investing.
Nice.
Super cool stuff. And also like mind opening to like why in the world are we not doing more investing and working with more investors? So that was it.
Good. Well, I want to hear all about the things.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Pretty good.
Good. Are we are we meeting this afternoon, or is it just our meeting this afternoon?
I don't think we had anything on the schedule.
We do, but if we need to reschedule or anything, I mean, I'm just
No, it's fine. Yeah, I'll be there.
all right. It's been a very quiet week.
Has it?
Like here, yeah. Which I mean, I expected half of everybody was gone, so yeah, but still good. Still good.
I'm hoping Brad comes on. We gotta tell you a funny story about Brad and I having a miscommunication that led us locked into a penthouse suite with a bunch of people.
I want to hear this story. Yes.
Oh, it's so good, but I can't tell it to you without Brad if he doesn't end up jumping on.
Oh man.
Locked in,
Not necessarily locked in, just
like trapped.
situationally trapped. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was fun. And I kept giving Brad a lot of crap. I'm like, you owe me. I'm like, you know what, buddy? You're doing a feature Friday on investing. You just signed up for that now. Paybacks.
It's too
Uh,
funny.
yeah. Yeah. Let's see if anybody pops on here. How's your guys' week been?
Good. It still ended up being a really busy week, which is good. Yeah, I got things just got to work on some things that I hadn't planned on, and yeah, it was still good. It was where I was supposed to be. So, hi Tess. Matt, you're gonna be so proud of me today. I only have two cups. Just two.
Look at the
Just
restraint she has, Matt.
I know. This is amazing. I've
I'm,
got my water
and
for
I see like
today, my morning hot tea, that's it.
you can't have like the same cup for that. So it's
No,
justified, hot and cold.
exactly. Oh, but only two.
I think that's impressive.
Progress. Glory may have gone to school with three, but I only had two today.
Hey, Brooke.
Good
But so
morning.
we are at, yeah, it's time. It is Friday, Mando Grado Friday. I'm happy that y'all are back. I miss y'all when y'all are gone from the calls, so that's mine.
I am just thankful to be back. I have had an opportunity to connect with a lot of people that I don't get to see in person, that I see on a screen, but give them big hugs and hang out with some people that it's just really, really good to get to have that opportunity and learn a whole bunch of stuff.
A whole bunch of stuff.
Whole bunch of stuff.
I'm thankful I'm leaving very soon to drive to Mississippi to go see my son who's in college. I almost said a freshman. He's a sophomore.
Yay.
Yeah.
Trying to get ready to leave. But does anybody else have to like leave their house clean? It drives you crazy if it's not clean.
Mhm.
I know. If I could just leave right now, but I'd feel so bad.
I don't want to come home to a messy house. I'm the
Well,
same
I
way.
know, and I'm the only one going. Like my husband's staying home with our 5-year-old and our 17-year-old. So I'm the only one going, but still, I'm like, I just feel really bad, and I would rather come home to a clean house.
Yeah.
And my cleaning lady's been in the hospital, so she's been in and out of the hospital. So I'm like, I don't think she's come over, and I don't even know how long. I don't think she's come over in almost 3 weeks. So I feel really bad for her. She was taking that like those injection things, and it caused her like to get all of her numbers and everything like all got whacked out.
Mm.
I don't know what's
Su-
going on there.
Super grateful for friends, right? Friends and family, right?
That is everything, right? At the core of everything. Tess, are you still on? She might have stepped away from her phone.
Sorry, I was washing my face and my hands were wet.
Oh no. You're up for gratitudes.
Um, I'm just grateful for my broker. Just leave it at that.
I will say that I know that broker very well, and he is one that has your back. Like when you need it, he has you, and that's always good. So,
So important.
well, I think that is everybody. Our sweet little five. I didn't know if y'all had anything planned for Friday. I was just gonna ask to share all the things. Y'all get to be your featured this Friday and let us know the things that you took from EXPCon. That was my plan for the day. My eyes are all watery. I promise I'm not crying. I am very happy y'all are back, but not like I'm not crying. I just my eyes won't stop watering today. So yeah,
Yeah.
Michelle, you get to be our feature.
Woohoo. Woohoo. Yeah, EXPCon was great. It was a little rough, honestly, being like off of a trip. Then I was all sick last week and then onto a trip. So I feel like I've been out of the business way too long. That part was kind of eating at me, but there were some really, really great sessions. Just some really, really great people. And I feel like it was just a great reminder of like um who you surround yourself with really matters
Yeah.
and how you can't elevate yourself to that next level by being comfortable and just keeping yourself in rooms of people that pat you on the back and tell you you're doing a good job and don't push you to grow a little bit. Um, so mine, I started off EXPCon with this investing group and spent a full day in a room with them. And there was a guy, I don't know if any of you guys will know him, but his name is Bobby Castro. And he is just an older guy. I think he's in like his 70s, but he came from nothing and has close to $1 billion in worth now. And just his take on life, relationships, was huge. But one thing that he said that I thought we all probably needed to hear and bring back to this group was a concept called non-refundable minutes. Have you guys heard that before? So we all are gifted however many minutes there are in a day. I should know this, but I don't. And we can't get that time back. We can make money, right? But we can't make time. And so he really got you to thinking about like, what are you doing with your time? Because every minute that you put into this life is a non-refundable minute that you cannot get back. So while we all have to work towards doing things, excuse me, that obviously provide wealth for our family, it's much more important to make sure that we are really protective of our time and who we're spending our time with. And I know I struggle with this. I want to be everything for everybody. Like I love hard. Um, but sometimes we gotta say no. A lot of times we have to say no. We should really get more comfortable saying no to people than we do saying yes. So that was probably one of the biggest takeaways. I wish you guys could have seen him. He's just this guy that has so much passion, and he's one of those guys that like yells and has a powerful voice, and he's just like when he is feeling it, he is gonna be really loud and bringing it to the table. And yeah, he was just so passionate about this whole concept of non-refundable minutes and saying no to people and cutting people out of your life. And sometimes that's hard because sometimes it's family and friends, right? That are bringing you down, and holding you back. And so figuring out like who in your life brings you passion and fire, who do you really love, who are you, like what's really important to you, like being super uber clear on what's important to you, getting clarity around that, and then just saying no to the other things. So, non-refundable minutes. Make sure you guys are keeping that top of mind. And then, a lot of talk, and I know this is going to be somewhat repetitive of what I talked about from Inner Circle, but same concept of like investing your money. So, Brandon Brenningham is, he's an interesting guy, honestly. He has the biggest heart. He really cares about people that are in his inner circle. Um, but he's funny. Like he's not someone that I normally would have probably like signed up to sit down and hang out with, just from a perspective of like he's a little bit like he doesn't filter his words. He like he starts out a lot of his conversations. He's just funny. He's like, I put some shrooms under your seat. Things like that, right? Like things that you're just laughing at, but you're like, I don't necessarily connect with that directly, kind of thing. But really just getting to know him and his mission and what he's doing with educating people has been wonderful. And truly like this whole few past weeks has really brought like to light like just God puts the right people in your path at the right time. And some of the things that he talked about, he's the one that I think I talked to you guys earlier about the whole concept of like God doesn't just didn't hand David a crown, he handed him Goliath. And he talks about things like that, right? Like he interweaves his faith and different things into his message too, which was just made it really easy to connect with. But from an investing standpoint, one thing he says is as real estate agents, we're helping investors all the time. And they're making, 25,000 on a deal or 50,000 on a deal, and we're making 5,000 or whatever, right? Like he talks about, do you just want the tip or do you actually want to be making the money on the deal? And really opened up my mind to investing and how you can do like leverage other people for investing. So one of the cool things that we were introduced to that I'm still trying to wrap my head around and kind of maybe put some groups together is this concept called a platform called fractional. So I'm sure you guys have all heard of like syndication and people investing together as groups.
Mhm.
Well, there was a gal that had a really cool idea on wanting to invest, and there's so much red tape when you invest with others on what you have to do. And if you get people to give you money to do investing, there's even more red tape. Like you have to pick basically two channels. Either you invest with people you know that are like friends and family, or you invest and you can put it out there publicly and have people come to you. But like mixing the two of those can be a gray area. And so she created this company called Fractional. And it's a company where you can do group investing. They call them investment clubs. And you set up kind of a thesis of, or think of it like a guidelines or bylaws around what you're going to invest in. So it might be like our investment portfolio, we are only going to buy um, apartments, small apartment units, less than 20 units that have a margin of whatever, right? Like you're very clear on what you're investing in. And then you go out and everybody pitches in money. So you don't necessarily have to get loans or the down payment, it's like everybody's doing it together. And then you're very clear on how those split out to everybody. Is it everybody gets a certain percentage return? Everybody gets to split the tax benefits equally? Or do y'all have equal ownership? Like it's very clear on that as well. And then fractional for like a 3% administrative fee, and then $3,500 does all the paperwork. They do your K1s, they make sure your LLC's set up appropriately. They, make sure that you're following bylaws and all of that. There's a whole concept of like you have to have a quorum of at least 50 people present to vote on each project as it comes up. And then 60 to 80% of those people have to vote in favor of it before you can move forward and purchase. And then they hold the money from everybody and then they kind of handle distribution once you guys have agreed on it. So for me, that was like an aha moment of there are so many people out there that don't get into investing because they don't have a whole lot of money. And this is another avenue for them to kind of get their dip their toes in it and do things at a larger scale. And with other people that can kind of help them along the way. So that was pretty cool. The whole concept of BRRRR, which I'm pretty sure most of you that are on here have heard of BRRRR before, right? The BRRRR method for investing: buy, renovate, and then you refinance, rent it out, or rent and refinance. So you're keeping your investment properties, but you're like buying them and renovating them and then taking a cash out refi and putting that into another property. So there was a lot of conversation around the BRRRR method and then also around just creative ways to do financing. So a lot of talk around, okay, I'm assuming most of you have heard about wholesaling before. How many of you guys have heard about wholetailing? I knew Matt would. That was like, what the hell is wholetailing? Um, but yeah, a whole different concept on investing that's kind of similar to wholesaling, but you actually own the property. You just do small cosmetic repairs to it and then put it right back on the property for so you can open it up to a wider avenue of people. So you're not like doing a full flip. And then having a CPA up there doing the analysis of private money versus hard money. How many of you would be afraid to use hard money because you're like, holy cow, those hard money lenders have such high interest rates?
Mhm.
When you break it down and you look at all the lending fees, a lot of times it's actually not more expensive to use a hard money lender for your temporary first before you refinance. It actually comes out in a lot of cases to be better. Even though that interest rate number is higher and you're like, ugh, this is ridiculous. The numbers as a whole in the bottom line come out to be better because you don't have all the expenses involved. And then there's less red tape to jump through because you don't have to worry about the um, appraisal, the stringent underwriting guidelines, all of those things. And so just being able to tap into people that just have an expertise in this. And then also there were, I don't know, 5 people I met this weekend or this week that were like, yeah, we do all kinds of hard money lending. Like basically you find a deal. If you find us a deal, we will get you money. No
Mhm.
problem. So it just, yeah, I think that was eye-opening to me. There's so many mindset blocks that had prevented me from getting into investing. We had 3 investment properties that we sold last year, which I, that's a whole another conversation that of stupidity. Um, but like a lot of things that have prevented me from getting back into it was more around like the money and like thinking I need to have this 20% down now, thinking I need to have so much more in reserves, like the whole concept of like, what am I doing? And the thing that was really like the aha moment, there's this guy, Casey, who works for a CPA firm called Accruity that is phenomenal. And this guy gave us a side by side of 2 clients. Was it Casey that did this or Brandon? I can't remember. Anyway, 2 clients that have been coached that were the exact same. It was Brandon, sorry, that have the exact same like number of transactions every year. And he's been coaching them for 8 years. And one person has like all the cool things, right? All the cool cars, all the cool house, his own personal house, those kind of things, but he didn't invest any of his money. And his other person that he was coaching followed his guidelines and has been investing and met their like lifetime net worth goal in just like 6 or 8 years because he started buying property and like that property builds wealth. You can take that money, you're buying properties, and you're not only reducing your tax liability, so you're not writing a check to the IRS, you're putting it into something else, but that something else is like appreciating in value and growing your net worth. So you're paying down your mortgage, value's going up, you're getting that spread, which continues to, get larger and larger instead of, putting it into or paying it to the IRS. Like it could be as simple as just taking the 40 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand that you owe the IRS and putting it into properties instead of paying them, and your money grows. So that I think that was just enlightening to me. Like, why are we all not talking about investing more? And why are we not using this as a strategy in our business to offset our tax liability and really create true wealth for our families?
Awesome.
Trevor and I were just talking about this weekend. We have sold our rental properties and had done some flips, and our last flip was like, ugh, it just was not great. And I was like, man, I'm done on this for a minute. And he's been wanting to do another one, and I'm like, I have not healed enough. I am not there yet. But then I'm like, man, it's actually kind of stupid of us to not. And am I going to let that one, as bad as it was, that one bad experience keep me from that? So we're reopening that conversation. And we've done all of our flips have always been with hard money, because it's so easy, like so easy. Just as long as it's a good deal, here's the money, and that makes it nice.
Yeah. There was a saying that they repetitively throughout the messaging is good deals find money. Good deals find money. If it's a good enough deal, you will find someone to give you money. If it's not a good deal, you won't. Also, the traditional like mindset of, uh, I guess it's something that I already knew, but like it's not all about the like what you're making monthly. Also thinking about the appreciation in the house. Like, is it an area that's going to continue to appreciate? If you do the flip, is it going to have a great, increase in value, those kind of things. And so the whole mindset around um, not just looking at the what are you netting monthly, but like how is your wealth growing overall?
Mhm.
That was it's funny. I feel like every time I go to a conference, it's not that I necessarily learn anything new. I mean, don't get me wrong, we do learn things new, but it's almost like just the aha moments around like, I have heard this so many flippin' times. Why have I not let it sink in?
The biggest takeaways from EXPCon. So I was there early. We had a leadership workshop and training all day Sunday, and we probably spent 3 hours doing an exercise around. It was considered a team building exercise, but what it turned into was solidifying truly the definition that bridges leadership and culture. And it was probably one of the coolest experiences that I've had inside a team pretty much ever. And there was a lot of tears. There was a lot of like, it was wild. The way the exercise was is that there was a hot seat and everyone in the room sat down in a chair, and then everyone in the room shared how that person shows up for them in their life. And there were like, well, there was about 16 of us in the room, and every single person went, and it got incredibly emotional and powerful. And so like we've been on this team now for like 14 months, but interestingly enough, like we're all spread around the country and we're on these calls. And it's really interesting. Like you say you're on a team, but like you're still in an individual sport. So it's kind of like being on the wrestling team. Like you're on the mat by yourself every single day. And like the team has collective points. And so it was really interesting because like up until this point, like I knew I was part of an organization, but it never felt like a team until Sunday. And again, one of the things that I shared is that The interesting thing about culture is not what people say it is. Like culture is not what the leadership says it is. It's what everybody on the team says about it when asked independently. And it was absolutely unanimous after that day that like this was truly a team. And it was a really, really neat example of we could have spent all day just getting into the metrics and the weeds and the conversions and the numbers, and that would have been completely appropriate and fine. In fact, that's what the training was supposed to be. But the fact that the leadership said, we're going to actually take 30 to 40% of the day to come together was such a huge eye-opening example of real leadership and team building and culture. And then the very next day, I got an emergency phone call from home and it was devastating and I was just shook. And the moment I shared it, every like my direct leadership said, you need to leave immediately. There's nothing here that you need to do. The team can take care of everything you got. And so I was able to jump on the next flight and I was able to be where I needed to be. And there's no substitution for being part of something that goes beyond a metric and a number and an income whenever everybody around you is exactly there when you need them. So that was my biggest takeaway is that this isn't a company, it's a culture. And I am beyond grateful for all those people in my world.
Is this where we get to be sappy? We get a little teary here, but like I think it's the same thing. Like, it doesn't surprise me that you're involved in a culture like that because you bring that same culture to us, right? To our CTC group. It's like a family and a culture and built on like love, trust, and also like helping each other realize that we do sometimes putting our family first, sometimes putting our friends first, the people that are core and important to us feels really hard, but it's always the right thing to do. And so I just, we love you.
Mm, thanks. That was my biggest takeaway. I wasn't there for the rest of it. I got to watch from afar.
I think
And I
it's a
was
good,
exactly where I was supposed to be.
it's, yeah, I was supposed to have been there. I guess my big takeaway is like being, sometimes you make plans and I mean, I was supposed to be there. I had my tickets, I had my flights, and Friday I was like, well, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to make it because some stuff at home, um, and then it that all changed, and I was like, what I could have been there. I could have like the reason that was keeping me at home is now not the reason anymore, and I was so frustrated and so a lot of things. And one, both of y'all, well, now y'all are gonna. Both of y'all were so encouraging. I was so worried that I was going to let people down too, not just me missing out, but let people down. And that you exactly like Michelle said, like you have made that culture that you just described, you've created that here too. And y'all were like, "Hey, it's okay. Everything's fine. Do what you need to do. Be with your family. That's priority." Um and then some things happen here and I got to have some conversations with people here that I wouldn't have gotten to have had I not been here, so that was really cool. Um but yeah, that's you're exactly right. Who you surround yourself with matters, and the culture that we've created here and the company that we're in is it's so good. So good. And I'm so grateful.
Bleh.
I'm sorry that you didn't get to stay, Matt, like and finish the week out. I'm sure that that was really hard for you to leave. And I'm sorry if I missed something, but I hope everything's going all right now. And I'll be honest, like I mean, I know that you guys are at a really great company and everything, and that's actually why it's hard for me to leave is because of the culture that I have right now. But I mean, I thought it was a great company, and I was really impressed with it last year going to EXPCon, and that's why I joined. I keep getting invited to all these masterminds that my office and stuff is doing, but I really appreciate you guys and the relationships and I think I even told this to Audra while you guys were gone. Like if I didn't like my office so much, I would have already come over. Didn't I tell you that this week? Yeah. I said I would have already come over if I didn't like them so much. So, but I
Oh,
appreciate you.
of course, man. Look, everybody's exactly where they need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of me was like, hey, I'd really like to help grow this call and stuff. I've invited people and stuff to it that I think would be like make an awesome addition to it. But I'm like, man, I'd rather in a way, I know this is your thing, but like I would rather it be a handful of people that really are invested in it and want to be here and want to contribute than
Yeah.
for you to have like 30 people and like most of them aren't really invested and just flies on the wall.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. No, I appreciate you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mean to hijack the energy there.
Oh,
So.
No, you're
I didn't take it like that at all. I think that you were explaining exactly what you needed to explain was that, I mean, like they jumped in and took care of it, and told you to go, and that your family and what was going on at home was more important than being there. So sometimes that's the choice. It was good that they supported you.
Well, it's time.
It's time.
time. I just like having y'all back. We'll just sit here and hang out.
Yes.
Well, I'm
Agreed.
excited to hear more about this, Michelle, because I've been a part of like at least 20 something flips, but as far as like personally 100% me by myself, I haven't done any of them 100% like by myself. And I've looked into the hard money loans and done like the math and stuff on things. And right now it had still made more sense for me to work with somebody who had like a lot of the capital up front. But I just thought it was funny that you said that because I was like, man, if you got like a traditional loan, by the time you pay for all the fees, by the time you have to hold the loan for so long, a lot of times it is better. So I'm excited to hear more about that
Yeah, we'll have to connect.
because I have a little money, but I'd like to have a lot more money.
Right. Oh.
And
Same.
it's honestly, I keep saying to my husband, I want to buy, I only want to focus on assets right now and no liabilities.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys had a really great week.
Yeah,
Audra held it down.
I had help,
we
so
knew she would.
We had no questions.
Not.
Oh, I didn't think you did. I was just letting you know. She held it down.
thank you. It was fun. So, well, y'all have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you Monday.
You too. Bye.